Kanrochi's backstory has touched my heart. Easily empathize his struggles and sufferings. Although the purpose is to acquire the 13th form, I was absorbed by his character more so than anything else. This chapter forced the fans to shift focus back to Muzan versus the remaining pillars. However, upon seeing the chapter's cover, the twist is that it presents another backstory, one that is due for some time. The battle is intense as ever. Just from the first page alone, you'll sense the chaotic mayhem is growing. It appears that the battle picks up right where we last left off with them, instead of time skipping due to Tanjio's journey. Although Himashima and Sanami had a badass entry, nothing has changed with Muzan. He maintains to have the upper hand with everyone barely keeping up. Kanroji is still in great pain from injuries, which irks me greatly. It gets a lot worse when the chapter shifts solely focus on her. By this point, it's safe to justify that no one is safe from death. Sadly, that means her as well. She can barely keep up, going by intuition and luck to dodge. It gets me nervous the more I read. She's trying her damn best to think of a ploy to strike Muzan. Her drive is to be as supportive as possible for her friends. That's sweet. Croc Sensei is merciless. It's been a while since I feared turning the page, but out comes this scene. She gets struck down badly by those claws. Who knew the world ending arrived so early? With a glance, it looked like her arm was cut and part of her face was ripped off. Fortunately, as far as minimizing injuries, her arm remains intact, though I think some of her ear is ripped off. Most importantly, she's alive, and thank God for Iguro to save her. Who knew I would be happy for a snake guy to save best girl? Also, thank God for Pillars for protecting them. This faction is awesome. It is unclear how she took damage, or rather, why couldn't she dodge it? It's either a secret technique from Muzan, or Kanroji didn't have enough stamina. I'm glad to see her safe. I'm not glad, however, to see her crying. Part of me is glad that she's out of the battle, so her death flag has lowered. But I can't ignore her determination being sidelined. All she wants is to be helpful for her friends, but her heavy breathing and fading eyes are distracting. She can't fight. I admire Iguro to give her to others to treat her wounds, getting Yushiro to look after her. He's growing on me. Even so, it sucks for her to stay behind. Sad to see her trying to recover, but falls down. She can only cry out her feelings for no one to die. This is physically painful. It shouldn't be a surprise thanks to the chapter's cover, but it is welcoming to read Iguro's monologue and backstory. He truly loves Kanroji. I mean, who doesn't? But hear him out. He wished the two to meet under normal circumstances. But then he take his words back. The only way he deserves her love is if he were to die and get a different body without filthy blood on his hands. That's sweet and depressing. His face is revealed. The nasty scar from his mouth region strikes me. Sums up his words perfectly. On top of his appearance, his lineage doesn't help the matter, for he was raised under a clan that steal and kill the rich for their own personal greed. He already has my attention. His family commonly birthed two girls, and the last time they had a boy was 370 years ago. Once Iguro was born, the mother, the sisters, and aunts treated him like a pet, caged him to a cell as they fawn over him. It's as if it's the first time they see a boy in their entire life. You can easily claim his childhood was harsh, but it gets worse. When he turned 12, he was greeted by a female demon that resembles to Medusa, only with normal hair and inability to turn people into stone. She has a slick design, I'll give her that. I like the layer of horror to Iguro's storytelling. He was pondering on the noise earlier. only to realize it was her, clearly frozen with fear. He was only spared because he was too small. It turns out that he was set to be sacrificed to the demon as the family's offering, so long they can live rich. Calling them a family is inaccurate. The demon took a liking to him, so much so they forced him to cut his mouth to match her appearance. How insane. The image isn't the most graphic, but it's painful to imagine the process, let alone see the aftermath. The blood pouring is nauseating though. The only being he can trust is the snake Kaburamaru. It's ironic and sad. Iguro ran away from prison, but the demon caught up and it was about to kill him. That is until Flame Pillar saved him at the last moment. It's best to say all Flame Pillars were and are true gentlemen. Seriously, it's the lineage you can always count on, like real heroes. Only Iguro and his cousin survived, brought together like lost family reuniting. Sadly, his cousin rejected him because she blamed him for the death of the family. All were killed once he was caught running away. Honestly, this is one of the most frustrating backstories. On one hand, her words were uncalled for. What would one expect when dealing with a demon? They'd done this to themselves. On the other hand, the family's life was on the line and he was the holder. It's still not his fault, but what's more important is her words pain him deeply. It's like hearing your family member telling you that you're dead to them. It's mentally scarring. It's very telling for every good deed he has done for citizens. The scars of his family haunt him to remind him of his sins. The only way for him to approach to Kanroji is to defeat Muzan, hoping to purify his blood, and if he can be reborn as a human being, he will confess to her. I didn't expect him to be such a gentleman, but damn it, he won me over. All he wished was to live normal, but was born in a wrong life. This definitely raised the death flag higher above the rest. It's hard to predict with every past actions that blur the line of predictability. Sure, it creates excitement, but I'm at the point that Aspool will be perfectly acceptable. This was a nice, sad, and tender chapter that features the snake pillar with romantic interest and despair. Kanroji receiving the deadly strikes will haunt me in my dreams until the battle is over. I felt sad for her, wanted to go on, but she's at her limit. Iguro's backstory was painful and frustrating. It's not to say it was bad. Rather, the investment and connection I felt were striking. The pairing with him and Kanroji can come true, but he has inserted himself to be next in line to die. I wish all the best of luck. Survive. Do it for her. And that would do it for the review. I hope you enjoyed this one. I apologize for a very late review. I know the chapter has been out for a while. Hell, I believe the next chapter is already out, though I am going to wait for the official translation. The reason why I'm late is because I have been under the weather. As you can tell, my voice is not exactly at my best. The reason why I did this review now is because I want to get out of the way before the new year. Hopefully, everything goes back to normal. So what do you think of this chapter? Share your thoughts in the comment section. If you like this and want more of this, subscribe to my channel and my world is yours to stay. Until next time, take care.